Welcome back to English lessons. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to focus on past perfect tense. This tense has very good usage in our daily lives when you communicate with others. In this lesson, I'll focus on the format of past perfect tense, how to write a sentence in past perfect tense, and what are the two main usages of past perfect tense, in what situation we can use past perfect tense, and also we will consider some of the time expressions that we can use. Along with I will give you some examples, specimen sentences that can help you to form later on your own sentences based on this tense. Okay, here is the first use of past perfect tense. This tense can be used when we talk about an action which happened before another action in the past. There are certain occasions in our lives when we have to talk about two actions, both of them finished in the past. But out of these two actions, one can be the former action, one can be the later action. In this situation, we use the former action in the past perfect tense, and the later action will be in the simple past tense. For example, when I reached at the station, the train had left. You reached at the station and the train left. Two actions are there, actually both of them past. You are talking about something happened yesterday or day before yesterday or any time in the past. But out of these two actions, they are not happening at the same time. One is of course the former action, and another one is the second action or the later action. So my sentence is, when I reached at the station, the train had left. The train had left, that's in past perfect tense, that means that happened first. And you reach at the station, that is later action, that happens second. That means I was not able to catch the train. Here you can understand this usage in a better way. With a graphical representation is okay to understand in detail. See, I have given you another example here. Teachers had decorated the school before the celebration began. See, teachers decorated the school and celebration began. These two past actions are there in front of us. I want to say, out of these two actions, what happened actually first? What happened first and what happened next? That's it. You can see here in the graphical representation, there's a time, but it's now with the arrow mark here. Okay, the arrow mark in blue, you can see this now at the present time. And before that one action is there is the celebration began. And before that, teachers had decorated the school. See, that means the decoration finished before the celebration started. That's it. So this way you can arrange your sentences. Another example would be, when I reach a school, the assembly had started. Okay, so in this way you can construct very interesting sentences without breaking the sentence. Otherwise you might have to say teachers decorated the school. the celebration began, weigh the idea in a better way. In the same sentence itself, you can say what happened first and what happened second. Okay, I hope you got an idea how to form these types of sentences in your daily situations. Here is a second example or second usage of past perfect tense. It can also be used to talk about an action which took place before a stated time in the past. For example, sometimes we might have to say at what time in the past you actually finished that action. For example, yesterday, before that 8 o'clock, you had done something, you finished something. Here you can use past perfect tense. For example, yesterday by 8 o'clock, I had done or finished my homework. So you are fixing a time or stating a time, that is 8 o'clock yesterday, and before that one action had been finished. Okay, so very common situation you can have to use this past perfect tense in your common daily situations like this. You can understand this format or this usage by this sentence and graphical representation here. See, Muhammad had reached home by 8 o'clock. He reached home, that's a past action. And 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. yesterday, that is a time, a fixed time, or we can say a stated time. Okay, so that's in past, and before that 8 o'clock the action has been finished. Clear? So you can prepare any other sentence in this format, just like I had finished all my work by last week. Okay, and another example would be I had finished all my exams by the end of last month. Okay, so I hope you got this idea and this format is okay with you and is easy now to use. Now you can form past perfect tense. Of course, there should be a subject, and after that had. Had is the only auxiliary verb or helping verb that we can use in past perfect tense. In present perfect we have two, it's like has and have. With singular subjects we are using has, and plural we are using had. But here we have only one, that's past form of has, that's had. Okay, and after that past participle form of the verb, or we can say third form of the verb. Okay, when we discuss about this past participle form of the verb, we should go or refer back to the different kinds of verbs. There are two kinds of verbs. The first one is regular verb, and the second one irregular verb. If it's a regular verb, you can add only T or ed with the verb to form its past participle. At the same time, if it is irregular, you have to learn that one. And you can see different forms, just like write, wrote, or written. We are not using ed or d over there to form its past or past participle. And also some verbs are same for first, second and third forms. It's like put and put. Okay, sit, set, set and set. At the same time, sit, sat, sat. The first form is one, and second and third forms are same. Okay, so these types of verbs are called irregular verbs. You should be able to understand these types of verbs, and you can refer to these verbs in any of your books you learned before. Okay. Yes, here are some of the time expressions that can be helpful for you when you prepare when you construct sentences in past perfect tense for, by, as soon as, by, the time, after, and then. Okay, for example, before, how you can construct a sentence using before in past perfect tense. I had studied well before I attended the exam. I had studied well means you prepared well, your preparation and studies, revision, everything had been finished before you attended the exam. So because the former action is your preparation and the later action is attending of your exam. Okay, then by 8 o'clock yesterday I had done all my work. So by, the word expression by I have used there to tell that before that fixed time something had been finished. Okay. Another one we can use when as well. For example, when I reached at the station the train had left. You are not able to catch the train. Got it? So these are some of the useful expressions you can make use of while you are constructing sentences in your daily life. There are many occasions and situations can be arising to use these words. I hope these words are handy with you now. Here you have some practice exercises. One sentence has been given was that he won a gold medal. That's a past action. In bracket I have given a later action, right? It's a later action or action 2. In second sentence, he participated in many Olympics or Olympic games or sports. As you wish, you can extend that sentence. Okay, anyway, if you don't have mastery over the use of past perfect tense to combine two sentences together or two actions of the past, it will go like this: two sentences separated, two simple sentences. But we have to make it a compound or complex sentence using some of the time expressions as I gave yesterday, in the last slide. Okay, so how to join these two? This past action and past two actions, action 2 and action 1, later action, former action should be put together using the time expression before. How it has been done? See, you can see the example done by me. What's that? He had participated in many Olympic games or many Olympics before he won a gold medal, because he won gold medal in recent times, the present time, and before that as well he had participated many of the Olympic games. That's it. So his participation, that is a former action, means not only in one Olympics game or sports. Not only that, before also he participated in many items. But it was only now he could achieve a good success of winning a gold medal. That's the meaning of this sentence. Here is another example for you. My father left. I reached home. Former actions, my father left, and later action, you reach home. Okay, you have to use when to join these two sentences. As a result, it will become a complex sentence, not a simple sentence. And also, it will be a master use of past perfect tense. You see, very simply we can use it like when I reached home, my father had left. That means you are not able to see your father. He had left before you reach home. That means you are a little bit late to reach home. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm sure you'll be okay to construct sentences using. Okay, right now it's over to you now. Okay, can you please write 5 sentences like this construction? Okay, make use of the constructions and the sentences I have given you before. You can refer back and think about some of the situations that can come in your life if you use these types of structures, having 2 actions in past, and you want to say what happened first and what happened second, and these 2 actions are constructed in the same sentence, in a complex sentence. Okay, I think it is handy with you now. Okay, bye.